Oh, guess who's excited to go live today? I am. I'm back here and I'm not driving, which is much better. So I'm just waiting for Tamika. She should be on soon. Oh, there she is. I'm about to wave to her right now. But I'm gonna add you too. But if you can, send me the request too, because sometimes I'll send a request to people. Oh, okay, I think I just got yours. I'm accepting it. Oh, there it is.
Hey.
Just a delay. Good morning. Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
thank
You
you.
look
I pulled
amazing.
my
How are
hair back.
you?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Thank you. How are you today?
You're welcome. Thank you. I am so much better. Girl, let me tell you, the last 2 weeks I've had this weird head, neck, shoulder thing where I couldn't look down. I couldn't, like, it's still tight, but I just feel like a whole completely different person because I can, like, look around now. I could, like, it was so bad for, like, literally, like, 2.5 weeks. And I didn't realize how miserable
I
I
was
was
kind of
until
feeling a
today.
little weird on it
So
myself, and I had all of
it
that
had,
too. I woke up like, ow. I worked out with my
mm,
trainer yesterday,
mm-hmm.
and we did different things. Yeah.
Oh. Oh, okay. I was about to say, because mine could be from sleeping too, but I feel like I scrunch up a lot. So had it not been like for my husband, like nothing would have got done this week. Like, I mean, even down to like packing like lunch for me. I'm like, thank you, because I couldn't even like cook. So much better today. I am so excited about having you here today because I know, you and I met, well, last year at this point. And, I say kind of consistent that I speak with you and we talk about different things. But it's funny because I haven't really, so it's going to be a story that I haven't heard either as far as like the beginning of your story to like when you first, like what you did before getting into business, why you decided to get into business for yourself, and just a little bit about your business journey.
Uh, the
Go ahead,
beginning,
get a
Mia?
few more sips in first, girl. The beginning, girl, like back, like a
Would have
few
been. It would have
decades
been.
ago.
So my
Beginning.
very beginning of my journey was me being an entrepreneur, starting to do hair at like 12 and a half. Then I even was creating hair techniques back then because I was very creative. Oh my gosh. I remember taking hairpins and
Mm-hmm.
pinning them on braids and pulling them back into a ponytail. Like I did all of these crazy things. Anyway, I did hair. And then when I was like 13, I started selling candy. And then when I turned 14,
Mm-hmm.
I entered an entrepreneurship program in my high school, it was a nonprofit that
Ooh.
came into the school and they provided these services for us. Well, they took us down to the city to get our sales tax and use ID number. So I had it since then. And they immediately took us to New York because I'm from Jersey, and we both are. So when I they took us to
Mm-hmm.
New York to
Yep.
go to the wholesale district, and we just went crazy. I took the money
Mm-hmm.
that I had from making candy and from doing hair and went into the wholesale district and went crazy. Okay. I bought all kinds of things. I was selling T-shirts, sunglasses. Then I bought the rhinestones, and this was years ago. This is a long, long time ago when we used to bling out sunglasses. I sold belts. I sold everything, jewelry, whatever I could get my hands on. Now that was back then. And then a little further down the line, I really built my hair business. So at like 14, I had business cards.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm in this entrepreneurship program. I go and I get business cards printed, and I
Wow.
still every now and then I
Mm-hmm.
run into one. I actually have one in my safe, and it was Tamika's hairstyles or something, whatever it was. And it was a little blue card. I had my name, and I would pass those out when I met someone. So then a little bit like maybe a little past 14, and I did my sister's hair. So she's walking in the streets, and then a lady sees my sister, and she says, "Who did your hair?" And she's like, "My sister." And she's like, "Well, where is she? She did such a great job. Can I meet her?" So now, and she says, "I would love to know if you would like to work in a salon." I said, "Well, miss."
Well,
Oh,
I'm
hello,
glad you
cat.
kept going. So sorry, that was my cat that just right? I tried to move her out because she was trying to get into like, and I'm like moving her away so that she got mad and jumped off the desk and took things with her.
Okay.
So sorry about that. Go ahead though. I just wanted to acknowledge
Right,
that
cool.
I knew that that happened.
So this lady calls me and I said, Miss, I'm 14 years old. And then she says, it's okay. She said, come on down and, let's talk. So I go to her salon and she actually has 2 floors. So she has like this basement area and she set it up for braiders because I was braiding hair at the time. And I ended up getting a job and I worked in there and illegally, okay? I had no license. Okay, we're going back in
No.
the day. But I worked there for quite some time
Right.
until I was walking in the streets another day and met a lady. I forgot how the story really went, but I met another lady who was she had an African braiding salon. And she said, let me teach you a few things and let me show you how to do something and you can come and work with me. So she gave me a better deal and a great opportunity, and she had braiders consistently, like people getting their hair braided consistently. So I went to work for her, and then I left there, and then I just did my own thing. Then I got my license, and yeah, so that was my beginning of my entrepreneurial journey.
So after you did that and then got your license, so you at that point, did you ever, and I'm asking this question just based off of our conversation previously, but after you worked at those 2 places, you just started your entrepreneur journey, like continued that journey. Did you ever work like another like job after that you had to go in? Like, how does that work? Like, were you just, was it smooth sailing after that, or you were just able to do your own thing, or did you have to go back and work
So
at other places as
I
well?
ended up getting another job. I worked at a supermarket because my friends had real jobs and I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to be like them. So I went to work at Pathmark. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And yes,
Oh my God.
Mark, and look, I took
This
you back, didn't I? I
Pathmark.
took you back.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
I wonder if there's any Pathmarks left. Like, we use it like Pathmark, like Ponderosa, like all those places just give you like that. I haven't heard Path. I think they're now ShopRites now that I've seen with Pathmarks, but I had to acknowledge that because
So,
Pathmarks, that's been a
so you
while.
know about it.
Oh
It's
my goodness.
a chain grocery store that was huge, and I went to work there. And I used to take 2 buses. I had to travel 2 zones and 2 zones back. All of this to get there, and they made me a bagger. A bagger? I don't want to be a bagger. Anyway, rightfully so, because I think now that I'm telling you the story, I was not 14 yet. I was about to turn 14
Mhm.
and I rigged up my
Okay.
birth certificate so that I could get the job.
Wait, wait. Nope, nope. This,
No, no, I'm
I'm
not
sorry.
going to
Say
say
that
it
one more
again.
time. What did you do?
I'm not going to say it again.
So, if you, what age was it that it was
I
supposed to
had to
say
be
that you were
14
versus the age that you
to
really
get a
were?
job. I wasn't
Oh,
14 yet,
and then
but I
how
wanted
old
to
were
get a
you?
job because all my friends were older and I wanted to get a job
Right.
like they had a job.
You wasn't. You wasn't.
I must have been 13. I
And
know I
how old were
wasn't
you at the
12.
time?
I had to be like 13 and a half or something.
Okay. I mean, it's bad, but it's not that far off. 13 and 14, I get it. But that's the thing. I did too. I got a fake ID to be
Oh,
21, but I was like 20. Like, I waited so long.
I had
Like,
that
it
too. And I was
doesn't
like,
matter.
I think I was like 15 and I had the 21-year-old. Now, because one of my friends was really
See,
21. She was over
I'm telling your
21.
mom, you are
So she
bad.
went and look, I need to stop telling y'all these
You was
things
a bad
on
kid.
live, okay? Before I get locked up.
You was a bad kid. It's okay because this is all allegedly. They can't, they
Statute
don't
of
have no proof. They can't
limitations.
prove anything.
Okay,
But
this
I
was
mean,
a
who
long
didn't get,
time ago.
right? Who didn't have fake IDs though? Like, the thing is, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't get a fake ID until I was like 20. But what I used to do is I had older friends too, and I would just go to the places that they knew that I could get in at. So it would be places of like people who they knew. Like, I had one friend who had a sister who owned a bar. So I would just go with her, or I had another friend who like knew people at a certain place. So I'd have to like wait. One time I had to like come in like the back door. I was just like, what? I'm just like, and all of that. And I've never been a drinker like that. So all of that to have like two watered down,
Well,
overpriced drinks.
we went to all the clubs. We even went to New York. We were in the clubs in New York at that time. I wasn't nowhere near 21.
Mm-hmm.
And the crazy thing is, even at this age now, people don't know how old I am until I tell them. So can you only imagine when I was not 21 and I'm walking in the club talking about I'm 21, like, no, little girl, get out of here. They have to be saying like, what in the
Right.
world? Who is this little baby? But yeah, so I actually had the real fake ID, okay? I had a government ID. I had a real one. No one could deny it because it was a real ID. And I walked up to the places proudly like, here's my ID. And I prayed I didn't lose it.
I was about to say, did anybody ever
Yeah, they
like
always
stop and like
double
double
take, but
take and
guess
be
what?
like,
You know what? They still do that to me now. So it's like, I mean, yeah. Hi, Byron.
I'm sure they do, because when you were telling me about like your kids, and I was like, oh, and I was expecting you to tell me you had like, younger kids, like, that they were, and when you told me you had
Yes.
like adult kids, I was
Yeah.
like, you have adult kids? I was like, oh my, okay. I was like subtracting and adding numbers, and I was like, oh my, because you look great, that's why. And so, you know, like I said, you saying kids, I automatically thought like little kids, like 8, 9, 10, like 12. But when you were telling me they were like their own people, I was surprised. So, um, so it's okay. It's okay that we fabricate. We just like you just made some adjustments to
I
be
made it
able
work.
to start working. But you were just like you were doing a lot at a really really young age. um After like so tell me about like after you left there, so we 14, you're working there. Was there another, because what I'm trying to find out is, because I know for a lot of people, people have different journeys. For me, I was talking to you about this. I had multiple jobs. I had over, oh my god, at this point probably over 45 jobs before, because I was always trying to do stuff with business. I didn't have a really good plan, and so I would quit, not have money saved, not have a plan, not have a strategy, and then have to go back to work. Or I'd work multiple jobs so that I'd be able to save money. But it was never a great structure, so I always had to go back and forth. But I believe that for you, and correct me if I'm wrong, you are actually be able to actually kind of like just
I'll
do your
clear it up
own
for you.
thing
So how
for
many real jobs did I
multiple.
have? I say 2.5.
Okay.
Pathmark that I was telling you about a moment ago,
Mhm.
it lasted for 2 weeks because when they gave me my first check, I looked at that little baby check and I said, wait a minute, the amount of money you just gave me. So I was already doing hair. I was working from home doing hair. By now I have my business cards. I'm really doing hair. But I kind of wanted to follow status quo and do what other people were doing. And that never was me,
Mhm.
but I wanted to try it. And I worked there for 2 weeks. So I quit,
Right,
I
right.
left, and the check was like less than what I would make when I was doing one person's head at the time. So then that was the clear indicator for me that I'm gonna get on two zones on a bus, and then have to, and it literally takes me like almost 2 hours to get there, and then I have to get back with the same amount of time, and I'm up there, and then I spend money for lunch while I'm there because I have to eat. So I spent a piece of the check, and then this little bit they gave me, I could have stayed in my house
Yeah.
and did hair, the things. So absolutely not. So early on, I knew about entrepreneurship and working for myself. So then I had the summer job. So now we're at 14, right? Close to 14. I have a summer job because of going to school. And I took that on throughout the summer. I worked in like the courthouse. I did that. Then when I got my license to be a stylist, I worked in like 2 salons, short lived. So I worked for them, and one of the salons I couldn't take it there because it was a business, but it was like it was a run. There were like over 20 stylists there, but I realized that there was a culture that I wanted to create for the clients that I was serving. So I left that salon and I actually moved out of state. I moved to North Carolina. When I got there, I was able to have my own business because New Jersey is commission based for hairstylists. And that's basically how we have to work. But when I went to North Carolina, it was booth rental was available. So another piece of the story. I got stories for days. Okay, Mia, I don't know how long we have, but I got stories. So I moved to North Carolina. At this time, I'm like 19. And I decide like, okay, I got to work. So I find a salon. Hi, Marilyn. Mary. Okay. So I find a salon. And at this time, I now have skills to do nails. I have skills to do hair because I had done all of these different things. So I entered a salon and I rent a booth for doing hair. But then the salon had like a wall in between and a door. And on the other side was a nail salon, and the lady owned both sides. I said, I can do hair and I can do nails. Can I rent a nail station as well? So I rented the hair station on this side. I rented the nail station on that side, and I would go back and forth. But then when I also walked in the front, she had this showcase, like, you know, like a glass showcase where you sell jewelry out of and things like that. That was available. It was empty. And it was like the front of the salon. And I said, wait a minute. I have a wholesale license.
Stop it.
I'm just coming from Jersey. I go back and forth. And I went to New York and I got a host of things, like a whole bunch of things that people needed. So I sold beauty supplies to the other staff members and to the other clients that walked in. So I had the showcase in the front. I had a little lock on it. I had my hair station in the back, and I did nails on the other side. So then I found this magazine as I'll go to the grocery store next door. And there's like these little magazines they used to have where you could, it was free and you could advertise in there. So I called the number up. Hey, I'd like to advertise. So I placed an advertisement in there, hair and nail special. Okay. And then I was such a go-getter that I knew that there was more money to be made, and it was just me. And, you know, I had no kids at the time. I had free time on my hands. So on the days that I had free time, I took those supplies and I put them in a duffel bag and put them in my car. And I went from salon to salon. Who needs beauty supplies? Because it sold. So I went door to door and I sold my supplies as well. So if y'all really want to know like who I really am and what makes me, like, it's my whole history. It's everything I've ever done. It's how I see that there's time in the day that can be still utilized. There's opportunities everywhere. There's an empty space, an empty showcase. I have a sales tax and use license. I can get the supplies. Why not? CDs, y'all, because I went to New York and got CDs.
Stop it. Did they let you? This is all the first time. Let's just stop for a second and appreciate that. It's true though, right, Ron? Like seriously. And I'm gonna be honest. I love you literally utilized one space in so many multiple different ways. Like I feel like a lot of times people overlook that because they're just like, oh, I got to get this done, and they're trying to. And I've learned this even as of recently. Put so much time and energy into trying to get all these other things done, and you don't realize what's right next door to you. What's right, like what can you, like all of those things, you did all of that from one space and then you expanded out, but you were able to, like, how many, like not many people are going to do all that, like not that many people. But and I feel like that's again something that people don't realize, that you don't have to be everywhere, but you definitely got to put the work in somewhere. Like I don't know, you could tell me how you feel about this. Like shortcuts or like something that's going to happen for you overnight. Like, I don't know, like, I don't know if anything happened for you overnight, or if there was anything you were able to shortcut, or if you put hard work into
I've had
to get
some
results.
shortcuts, but not in the way of what you said. So when I went to beauty school, I did everyone's hair in my path, right? So now, okay, so I'm in high school. Let's go back. I'm 14 years old. I'm in high school, and I did everyone's hair. I did the students. I did the teachers at the school. I was literally at the teachers' houses, like, because I did their hair. So they would bring me to their house instead of them coming to my house. So I did everyone. So this was a thing that everyone knew. Now, when I entered high school, I went to a technical career center. I went to Nortech, or it had two names. So anyway, said to me, you want to take the cosmetology program, but I don't want you to do that because you're a high honor roll student. And what we'd like for you to do, because you put on your application, your other choices would be, because we had to put like 3 choices, that I would do computer technology and I will also take up the business program. So they said, well, why don't you take computer tech? Because it gives you the business program and you get to go to college when you're in the 12th grade. So, and you also could come back and do the cosmetology program when you graduate. So I said, you know what? This is the first time that someone told me, no, don't do this, do that. And I said, okay, I accept it. And I'm glad I did, because what ends up happening is I now go through and I take up accounting 1 and 2. I take up computer programming. I learn about like just all of the softwares that are out at the time. And I go to college and I take computer tech in college as well. So now I have all of these things as a background. Well, because I was doing hair for everyone, the principal of the high school pulled me into his office when I was in the 12th grade and I was about to graduate. And he said, hey, I know that you love doing hair. He said, I have an opportunity for you. Now, this has never, ever happened and probably never happened again. He said, would you like to come back in and take the program with the students in the daytime and you'll be able to get your hours quicker? I don't know why he came up with this. I have no idea. Now, I'm gonna say something else. Everything is proximity too. So I did the morning announcements for the high school. So everyone for like years would hear my voice every single morning. I said, I read the Pledge Allegiance to the flag. I did the announcements for the school and everything, okay? So I was in the office every single morning. Well, because of proximity, he knew who I was and what I was about and all the things I did. He offered me this. When I tell y'all was nothing else to it, he said, do you want to do this? Guess what? I ended up paying for cosmetology school. Yes.
I was about to say, I'm gonna guess a very, very, very high price of zero
Zero.
point
But
zero zero.
no zero.
That did he pay you?
Okay, no zero. But what I paid was $100 for the registration as a high school student. So to register, like the students that took the cosmetology program, that took it for like, you know, when they were in high school, they paid $100. They got a kit and they were able to take the program. It was just how it was. But this school had an adult program in the evening. So the story goes like this. I get to come in the daytime, pay $100. I go in the daytime with the high school students. And then when 3 o'clock comes, I take a break and I drive home. And then I come back at 5 p.m. for the adult program in the evening. And I went to school from 5 to 10. So I attained my cosmetology license hours in less than 10 months because I did double time, day and night. And I got all my, like,
I was just about
it
to
was
say,
like
like you
less
were
than
there all
10
day.
months.
How
It was
long
like
did you do
a
that
high
for?
school year.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Goodness
Got
gracious.
my
Wow.
hours
Okay.
and I went and took my test, passed it the first time around, and got my license for $100. So when I give back to others, I go back and I remember what someone did for me that they didn't have to do. Someone literally recognized who I was, what I was all about, and they presented an opportunity for me. So now I, you know, really begin to understand even more that there are opportunities everywhere. There are all sorts of back doors. There are methods of doing things, connecting to the right people, showing up as the person that you really are, and showing people your true dedication to who you are and what you do. Volumes, and people see it. And then people will literally step up to you and say, hey, opportunity. So that's where I started.
Oh my goodness. I mean, like I said, you first off, you have a really interesting, like, you have a cool story from the start. So I completely understand it now. But for people who aren't as familiar with you, Coach Shanika, tell us what you do now. Like all of that then has led you to who you are
Okay,
now.
now,
So just tell us a little bit more about what you do. Because I see you all the time. I see everything. I be like, yes, look at you. Mm, mm, I be trying every single thing that I see of yours. I be trying to. I don't always get to comment like I want, but I always try to at least
and I
acknowledge that I'm
appreciate
like, I
that
see
too.
you.
So I am
Absolutely.
Coach Tamika James, who is a life and business coach. I love helping entrepreneurs who are already in business from 2 to 5 years or more to understand more about who you are. That's my life part of me. and the business part is to help you to get to wherever you desire to go. So I love helping entrepreneurs with the business strategies and understanding more about, once again, who you are to understand where you should be in business. Because there's something about an individual that says this is what I should be doing, and there's something that says this is what I should not be doing. And then I love technology, which, and I shared the story of like my background and me getting the technology information. I utilize it because I understand that a lot of people still don't get technology, scared of it, nervous, don't understand that
Mm-hmm.
this is the way that you scale your business by having systems and automation. So I love sharing information about that. So I love social media as well because it's the window to you and like people to be able to see you. Like I work from home. So if I don't use this window, some of you will never see me. Well, I go outside too, but some of you won't see me because of this window. So if I shut the window, don't hit the button, I'm closing
Mm-hmm.
myself off. So I love helping others to be able to utilize this window for people to come on in and see you and for you to be able to shine through your own window. So that's who I am as a life and business coach. And I come in a lot of forms. I do networking events. I have done trade show. I had a trade show for 13 years, which was, gosh, um, I want to talk about it real quick just to kind of bring you up to speed with one of the things that I've done.
Mm-hmm.
I woke up one day and realized that I am this person who had these skills and I knew that I could help other people. Like, how do I really show up in the world and help others with what I have? So I decided to create this trade show that lasted for 13 years in person, where I had over 50 classes a day over the course of the 2 days, 50 physical classes that people walked in and out of. And people came from everywhere to attend this trade show. When the pandemic happened, I ended up putting it online. I share that because I understand creating events and understand like bringing people together. So now I'm doing that on a smaller scale by doing networking events and bringing people together because I understand like what it takes to do all of these things. Oh yeah.
Networking is huge. Networking is so like I don't think people like so when people because I always talk about building your team, right? And how small businesses you need a team. Doing it by yourself is just, just a setup for you to be overwhelmed and frustrated and ready to quit. And when I talk about building your team, people normally think, okay, people that I need to be paying, people that work for
It
me,
means
and people forget
everything.
about their network. And there's there's so many, and even coming from the space because in business I talk about building teams, but that's because I come from a recruiting and acquisition, talent acquisition background. So I come from a background of helping people like helping people get hired. And so I used to have people say to me, because this isn't just in business, this is in life, this is opportunities in life, where it was someone who had just finished school. I don't even remember, it was something that I had no idea about, like some biotech, something that like I said, I didn't know anything about. And he's like, oh, I know that you're a recruiter and you get these questions all the time when you're in recruiting. Can you look over my resume? What do you think I would be good for? Because like I said, I've been in I've done almost all types of like different types of recruiting. And so I had someone who, whatever type of recruiting this was, I hadn't done that. And for this role. And he was asking me like, well, how do you think I could get into this position? And I said, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've never recruited for that. I don't even know much about this. I said, but I can tell you based off my experience, and you can believe me or not, but I'm like, if you really want to get into this field, it's going to, more than your degree that you just got, more than the
It is.
experience that you have, it's going to be who you know. And and that's the truth. I'm like, I've seen it, and this is over a decade of being in that space. I have seen more people get jobs and opportunities because of who they know than, like I said, than their degrees, than their experience. I've had people in roles that had none of the none of the qualifications that they need, but they knew the VP, and the VP said, "Hey, they're going to be in this position," and we hired them. And so I always tell people, I'm like, obviously, I'm not saying you shouldn't work in whatever you're doing or work hard and get your degrees if it's something that needs a degree and the experience, but networking, I feel like is very underrated. where a lot of people understand the importance of networking, and more than just networking, just like I was talking about at your event,
Mm-hmm.
staying connected with people. Like, you can't just network with them once and say, oh, okay, Tamika, I met you. This was great. This is awesome. Maybe we'll see each other at another event. No, actually continuing a relationship. And of course, it's harder with the more people. You know, if you go to a networking event and meet 100 people, it's obviously going to be hard to keep up with 100 people at least once a month. But what you
Right.
can do is pick 5 of those people and kind of keep in contact with them. Like I said, I have, and I started doing that a lot when I came here to Florida, because in Jersey, I had already built that. And so I came here, and I don't know about like, and I know you came here a little bit differently than I did, but when I came here, at first I was kind of like, no, like I don't really need to network with anybody. I'm like, I have like my team back home. And so I used to like do things, and I would always try to get my team from back home to come. So if I like went to an event, or if I needed something, or if I was going to do an event, what I would do is fly them down versus actually trying to find people, here and build that. And I'm like, I got to do that. Like, I have to, versus just depending on everybody back from home. So that's why when you mentioned your like networking, that's that is so important. And I feel like once you can master like networking, then
Yeah, to
so
your
many other
point
doors
about
open for
what you're
you.
saying right now about
Um,
networking and connections, can you hear through my story all of the things that I've done and how I've connected? So there was the
mm-hmm.
salon
Yep.
job that I got, who saw my work, and I didn't have credentials at the time. I was like 13. So I go and I work in this business because of her looking at my skills. So there were no credentials, and we're not going to say that she did the right thing, but we all got money. We doing braiding at the time. So it's about who you know, who you connect to, and who you follow up with. Because if I didn't follow up with
Yep.
that lady who met my sister in the streets, I would have never gotten that job. And then I ended up meeting some amazing people along the journey who also worked in that salon that I stayed in touch with over the years. Great, just meeting certain people. So they had a license and I didn't. And then eventually I did get one. But in any case, I mean, and then look at my
Mm-hmm.
$100 cosmetology school thing, where I was in proximity and I showed up as a certain person, and just, it's just amazing the things that happen. So yeah, yeah.
That is awesome. So for the people that at least are in this South Florida area, and not just the events, anything that you have like going on, can you let us know about
Okay.
anything, any projects that you're?
All right.
I wasn't able to put it on Do Not Disturb before I started. I was like, I gotta go on live. But yeah, let us know about any projects that you're working on, any workshops, any networking events. How can we get more into what
Okay,
Tamika is
so
doing and
today
be a part of
I
that?
actually have a networking event that I'm doing, and it's under UBG, which is Underground Biz Group. So, Underground Biz Group is actually an
Mm-hmm.
online program where entrepreneurs come in, and we have 5 different sessions that are live per week online for social media, understanding how to hire a virtual assistant, understanding how to set up your Shopify account, your Shopify store. Also, we have 2 financial sessions, one for financial planning, for budgeting and creating your business plan, one for creating your understanding your taxes and everything, and how to get prepared before taxes. So we have a session for that. Then we have a book reading session. We have a goal setting session every single week, and we have a random business lesson every week inside UBG membership. So that is what I love to tell people about first and
Mm-hmm.
foremost. That's one of my babies. I've been running that online program for 2 years. So now I also do it in person. So what happens is I have an in-person meetup once a month in person, where we meet at a restaurant, we have lunch together, and we do some type of a business type exercise where it's something that's helpful to you as an entrepreneur, but it's also about networking and getting to know other entrepreneurs that are around you, that are in your, in your close proximity. So I did our regular networking meeting the other day on Wednesday. We do it every first Wednesday of the month. But now I stepped into a space where I'm already doing that for just specifically for that reason. Why not set up networking events where people can just pay and come and network, and we do these things and magic happens. So that's what is happening today. So it has a small fee on it. It's on Eventbrite if anyone wants it, or you could. Yes, it's going to be worth it. It's
I'm
always,
sure it's worth it.
The other day, the meeting was so beautiful, just watching people connecting and people getting help. So that's what's happening today. UBG is in the link in my bio if anybody wants to click it and check it out. We recently brought in some new entrepreneurs who have the ability to bring their courses inside of my program. So here's what I did. Hey,
Nice.
You want to build your course? I have a course for that, by the way, too, just to let everybody know. And that's something where, you are with me for a month and I show you how to build your course out. So you guys could sign up for that. Now, there are several people who say they want to build a course, but they don't really want to do it. So I created an opportunity because I also have a digital agency where we have virtual assistants and we also do social media management. We set all of those things up. I utilize my own team to be able to build courses for those who want to bring their course into UBG, which means we have a new course creator. They build a course. Now their course is in there. They are an affiliate. They're now a partner. So they get to say, I have a course. So they gave me their content. I asked them for certain things, and I had my team to build a mini course for them inside UBG program. So now they get to say, hey, I'm a partner of UBG, but you get everything else that UBG has, which is an ongoing membership. They now have a very high affiliate commission, and they get to sell it. So I'm providing opportunities while doing what I'm doing, making it work for all of us, giving people a space to be able to grow and to show them that they can do this. So I heard a few of them say, you know what, you just showed me that I can build my own course. And I said, that's what it was about. Get in here, let me show you how easy it is. And then you can build another one on your own somewhere else if you want. Fine. I have going on digital agency. I spoke about that very lightly just now. But we source out others. And here's the thing. As a life and business coach, coaching in the programs or coaching privately, I'm asking for the people that I'm coaching to do certain things that help them to scale their business. And literally they understand what I'm asking them to do, but they don't really want to do it. Sending emails and really showing up on your social media and getting things done. They don't really want to do it. They know the business needs to grow, but they don't want to do it. So guess what? I created an agency where we source out that info, those agents for them. And our agency doesn't just have like a virtual assistant for one thing. It's like if you need a video to be edited, if you need copy to be written, these are two different people. The social media manager is a different person. And then we also do blogs and things like that. So you don't have to wait for everything to be done because there are multiple people doing different things to get the things done. So that's what I'm really excited about. And I want everyone to know about my book. I love this baby. Oh, Mia's like,
when did this happen?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. Can you hear me? You just
One of them.
Is this your book?
Yeah. Oh, no, this is not new.
What happened?
This is not new. And this is the crazy thing. I have so many things that it's really tough to talk about everything. But a lot of the things that I do, they all come back together. So I use this book, which is called You Got Way More in You. Where is it? Okay. I wrote this book a little over 3 years ago. Conference with Tony Robbins. And I went there because I wanted to learn more about personal development for myself. And I also was ready to delve into coaching. But I had to be sure of what I was going to do, how I would do it. I wanted to see how he did things. And when I walked away from that conference after 3 days, I literally was in the shower bawling, crying. And it was like literally like a shedding of who I was and who I was walking into and who I was to become. And when I walked away from the conference, I realized I had to do some of what he was doing. And I had to write a book about it. So this book is large. You see the size of it. Because basically it is a book, but it's like a workbook type book to help you to recognize who you are
Oh,
right now
nice.
because you
Okay.
identify some things about yourself. And then what do you really want to do and how will you get it done? So there are things in the book and we walk through and you get things done. So one of my programs to help people to see clearly and to make really, really good decisions. So I also do workshops with the book alone. Come in and we open up the book and we start going through the pages. And I've done a workshop where it was for 2 days, or I will do them in like 2 to 3 hours as well. So yeah, I want people to know, bring me in so we could do this with your group. It could be your family, your friends, it could be your coworkers, it could be your staff. And we work through here and like people start seeing things. It's just beautiful. Yes.
I love that. I thought it was new. I was about to be so upset. I'm like, oh my God, I had no idea. I still want to get it though. I have been trying my hardest to support, and I'm actually reading a few books now of all of my network that have published books. It's a lot. And it's funny because like I've done ebooks, but I want to do an actual like paperback book. And I remember when I was 12, no, I was like 7. And I remember I was like, I wanted to write a book. This is how long it's been. This is why it's like shame on me for not getting it done yet. I was like 7, and I took some like like not cardboard, but some like thicker paper, and I folded it, and I ripped pages out of a real notebook, and I stapled them into that. And
Okay,
I
that
was
was
like,
some
this is my
visualization
book.
right
This is
there.
the first book that I wrote. I was like, I'm an author now. And I remember when I was 12, I was like, I wanted to be a writer. And then when I saw how much I just made just as a writer, you're average, not the people who do like, extraordinary. I was like, even as a kid, I was like, I probably won't be able to live off of this. So I was like, I'll be an attorney and a writer. And I grew up and I was like, yeah, I don't know about the attorney part. But the point is that writing part has always been there. And so I'm like, it's time. So because of my relationship with books and writing, and like I went to school for English and got my degree in English, so it's just like it's there. It just needs to happen. But every time I find out that someone in my network has written something, I'm like, let me support you. Tell me where I can get it at. I will publish it and I will read it. So I'm a few books that I still have that's in queue that I need to finish, but I'm reading someone's book right now. And that's something else that we could go
Yeah,
into
it's in the
on
link
your
in my
page,
bio.
your
It
bio,
definitely
and be able
is.
to see and
Yeah.
get your book. Okay. Awesome. No, I will definitely be doing that then. So listen, if you guys haven't already, please go, like I said, check out Tamika's page, go support her, get her book, go to an event if you're local. If you're not local, still come out and go to an event. Listen, we're in Miami, and when I tell people to come out and visit, or they're like, they know I'm in Florida, but they're like, where are you? I'm like, I'm in Miami. They're like, oh, say less, I'll be there. So if you need an excuse to come out here, it's this. So absolutely. I know that. And last thing I'm gonna say, then I'm gonna let you go, girl. But I am so excited, and I just wanted to say thank you for being a part of my event for May. Like I am so excited to have you on my panel, and I'll let you know a little bit of my thought process so that we're forced to wrap this up. But I'm doing an event in May that's going to be focused on small business owners and being able to talk about different things as far as funding and being able to like all these different resources, because I talk to people and they're always like, oh, I feel bad, like I'm by myself, there's not a lot of resources. And I'm like, there's so many resources. So there's a lot of local organizations that I've been talking to bring them all together to talk about everything that's available for small business owners. And I thought about you because I wanted to do a panel section that actually just talks about real life experiences of some of the issues and some of the challenges that you've had in entrepreneurship, because I I feel like at least a I came from a thinking of I'm going to be able to just hop into business. It's easy, and it should be easy if it's meant for you. So in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to start this business. Everything's just going to somehow work out, even though I have no plan for it. And then when it didn't, I was like, oh my God, maybe this is not for me because it's not working. And I didn't realize that I'm like, that's usually like, you got to put work and effort and be consistent with business. It doesn't just work. So I just want to be able to bring people that I feel like are going to be relatable to talk to other people in business and be like, hey, these are some things that I did. This is some of the strategy I used. These are some of the challenges I had. You're going through some of the same things, but don't give up because it's not working out the way that you want it now. I tried for 10 years to build business and it took me 3 times to be able to do a fourth time to be like, okay, everything that I learned, I can now apply to this business. I know what not to do, a lot of what not to do. And but at that time, I was upset that I was going through all those things because I thought something was wrong with me and this wasn't meant for me. But in reality, all of those just built my story for me to be able to build a successful business and to let other people know. Like, it's not always going to be easy. And then even after you reach some type of
Oh
success,
yeah.
you still might then have another bump where you're just like, I made it. And then you come down and you're like, oh no, like this is not what I expected. And so I just wanted to bring some people in that can really that has that experience and really can come and just like I said, hit them like in their
Let
souls where it's like
me hit
I
them in the souls
understand.
right now with what about the time when I got the eviction notice? Chasing
Yeah, those are
time.
the
What about the time? And
girl.
what
Oh,
about the fact that you see me
yep.
here today after all of these ups and downs, ebbs and flows? What about it? Like, I know we talk a lot about the side of it where we're winning, but there are points in time where we feel such like
Yep.
a loser. Like, what in the world is happening?
Mm,
But then there's something that
yes.
has to kick in where we have to remember why we started. And we have to remember that everything is not perfect. And we have to remember that some of the millionaires of the world have failed. And there's this thing that they say, I believe, about millionaires is either that some millionaires have failed about 13 or 18 times, I don't remember the number, before they became a millionaire. For
Mm-hmm.
anyone who's listening, if you're chasing your dreams, it may get that bad sometimes to the point where you're about to get evicted chasing your dreams. But you usually get evicted chasing your dreams because of a couple of things. Maybe there's a few things you don't really know that you could be doing, or you're chasing it and everything just goes haywire. You're doing your very best, but you have to remember why you're in it so that you can know what you started for, so you can know that you have to stay on your journey. And then you push through, and that resilience is what everyone sees, and it takes you over the top. And then you get on the other side, and then there's this beautiful magic on the other side, and now you know what you need to do. So now those things that could have potentially held you down, those are the things that keep you going every single day. So everything is not perfect. It's not perfect all the time. I love business. I love who I am and what I do. I love who I serve, and I understand why I'm on this earth. And, later on down the line, for those of you who are out here, especially if you're here to create impact, the best businesses are here to create impact in one way or another. There were so many people who are still coming to me and telling me thank you for all of the things that I've done over the years. And I've impacted thousands of people. So just imagine, like, when I do a trade show, I have a booth which has a stage and a microphone and speaker equipment and everything. And then I have several classrooms throughout the weekend. There are about 200 to 300 or more in the classroom in each of the sessions. And I will have 2 to 3 of those at a trade show. And then I'm on the trade show floor where there are thousands of people who walk by. So that's how many people are being impacted, the people that walk by. People have told me they've heard me from another row and came around to see who was speaking and gotten closer. So these are people that are passerbys that are being impacted. So if I was to shut down and to stop because of things that happened to me, all of those thousands of people that I impacted and changed their lives, it would not have happened. So I'm just glad that I was able to keep going.
I promise you're talking to somebody today. I promise, I promise, I promise. And that's why I'm just like, that's why when you're talking, I'm like, because I have been in all of those areas, like all of it. And it's just, it took me a while to realize that I'm like, this isn't, I've been looking at this wrong the entire time. I really like it was romanticized, and so I thought it was just something that you didn't need any, you didn't need to be educated about. Like it's just you didn't need a network for. Like I didn't have the funding for. It was all of these things that I'm like, I've learned this experience. That's awesome, but I need to now
All right.
collaborate because this is not something I can do by myself. And I'm telling you, that's what I'm telling you. This is why I picked you because I immediately thought about you. And I was just like, I wasn't even done putting together like the group I was going to have. And that's why I reached out to you. I'm like, I need you, like more than me. I'm like, we need you here. Like, we need you here because I promise you're going to talk to someone and they're going to be like, I was about to quit. And you're absolutely right. You have no idea how many people that you are impacting. I started doing it as well because, and I
I'm
promise this
okay.
is really the
You don't
last
have
thing.
to.
I started. It's just funny because this has been amazing. Normally we're about a half hour, so it's just been so good that I'm just like, we just got to keep going a little bit longer. But I've had so many people, even on social media, where I posted something, or I said something where people were just like, I needed that today, and I'm just like, me, like what I said truly mattered to you. And so that's why when I see stuff that other people put as well, I can't do it all the time, but I try to comment and be like, I needed this today. Like this this made a difference. Like I was in this spot where I was just like, you know what? I'm tired. And then being able to know that somebody else is like, I understand, but you got to keep going. And it's just like, you're right. You're right. Just knowing that other people have that understanding and then just listening to people. I listen to I talk to people, obviously. I do interviews, I do this stuff, but I listen to people so much more because you might say a few things. It might be some things I might be like, okay, maybe not this, but you're gonna say some things that's gonna resonate with me. And I'm like, you know what? I never thought about that. I never thought about trying that. Why don't I tweak that? I've learned in business, there's something that you could be doing and you shouldn't change as far as like your full idea, but how important pivoting is. So let's say if I let's say if I do hair, like, and I'm not saying like you'll be doing hair, then you're like, okay, you know what? Now I want to sell cars. Like, I'm not saying that type of pivot, but I'm saying what you're doing in your space, being like, hey, I've been marketing for, for people to get their hair done online, but did I forget about local? Have I been going out and talking to people? Have I gone to certain places? Have I like just tweaking something small that you do and the difference that it makes? I personally have found that out where it'll be something small that I've been doing this way. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what if I just try it this way? And I've gotten success from that. So pivoting, adjusting
Did you know
is
what?
so like, oh, I can't wait.
So
I
when
can't
you're
wait.
talking
I can't wait
about,
to
so
have
we were
you
just
share.
talking about how things can go terribly wrong, considerably terribly wrong, and we still have to stay in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I say we stay in there, we pivot as we need to, but with assistance. And that's what I love about the space I'm in now as a coach. I'm able to use my life experience, my business experience to keep other people out of trouble, to give direction to others who may be going down the wrong road and not able to see clearly. And that's more so where I wrote this book, because it helps you to see clearly. And I don't even think I gave it enough credit just now. But basically, as a coach, it's keep going with direction. Keep going with direction. Make sense out of
Mm-hmm.
where you are headed
Mm-hmm.
and determine what needs to be done. And a lot of people can't see that by themselves. So even as much as we're saying, yeah, keep going. You don't just keep going and doing anything. Keep going with a plan. Keep going after evaluating where you are and what's going on and what else could potentially be added. So we got to make sense out of all of these things, you know? And I'm sponsoring your event with a 360 booth. I'm sponsoring your event.
What?
And what we're going to do, and just in case, yeah, so your first time hearing this right now. So I'm going to sponsor your event. And what's going to happen is, when people shoot their videos, when we shoot the videos, we're going to brand it with the event's name. Every video will have the event's name. So all of the people that attend are going to get on and they're going to ride the 360, and their video is going to have your company name on it. And they're going to take that video, because we share it to them. They get their own video. and then they're going to post it on their social media. So whoever wasn't at the event will be able to see that the event happened. So now you'll also get those videos. So this is what we're doing. So you are officially sponsored. I'm going to be there as well anyway. So you're officially sponsored. Okay.
I love this. Oh my God, thank you. Because like that's like I said, I am the most. I have these last 12 months, the people that I have, and it's funny because there's another woman that's having an event that I met her last year in Atlanta when I was doing a workshop. And I literally woke up in the morning. And now, mind you, for me, I'm going to have to fly to Atlanta, get a place to stay. But I digress. I woke up in the morning and something was like, tell her that you will volunteer to help her at her event and anything that she needs, that you will help her with it. And I was like, okay. So I messaged her and I said, listen, something told me this morning to message you. I said, I know you're having your event in Atlanta. I'm like, I will be there. I don't know what you need done. I said, I can help with registration. I will help you pull the chairs out. I don't know, whatever that you need for this event, I will be there and I will volunteer to help you with it. And she's just like, oh, thank God. She's like, you're the second person today that has reached out to me to do this. I'm like, just the level, like, I appreciate support. I have been blessed to be able. Now, mind you, I'm not gonna lie and tell you business is not hard. It has not been hard for me. I haven't gone through multiple struggles in over a decade. And but I did that even with support. So I don't even know how hard it would be if I didn't have the support of family has been massively supportive for me. My friends have been supportive. People I don't even know very well have been so supportive of the things that I have been doing that I'm constantly in that same space of just, I'm not expecting anything back. I'm doing this for you. And I have seen that back, like just old, like 5, 10 times like over. So I say all that to say I wasn't expecting this. I appreciate this so much. I accept it. And like I said, that's just like what I told you, this was weeks ago, I think. And I was just like, if you ever need anything, I'm like, I am here. I know a lot of times we don't like asking people for help. So that's why a lot of times if I see something and I know I can be available for it, I'll just suggest it. I'm like, I'm not gonna keep waiting for you to ask. I'm gonna just do it. I'm gonna be there. So thank you so very much. I am so excited. I can't wait. This is going to be something awesome for them as well because, it's a free event. I'm not doing this event to make a crazy amount of money off of it. Every type of sponsorship that I get matters because I don't want people to be like, they can't come to this event. Like, I have a business or I'm trying to start a business, but, I can't afford. Some people, let's be real, even $20 is too much for them right now. I don't know everybody's situation and I get it. But to be able to offer this to them for free and be able to bring all these resources together. And so we're not just saying, just like what you just said, we're not just saying, keep going, yay, your dreams are going to come true, right? They will come true,
Yeah.
but there's a lot on the back end we got to do. So being able to, right, to be able to bring people together that you can talk to, that they can coach you, that they can take this journey with you is going to be priceless.
Thank
So
you.
thank you so much. I'm going to have to talk to you real soon. I know you have your event today. I can't thank you enough for coming on here today, Tanika. It's always an experience speaking with you. And you have, like I said, I see you all the time. You have a lot of amazing things going for you. And I know all of those things took some time to build. So just like what I tell when I see people, I'm like, I see you, keep going. I'm proud of you. I can't wait to collaborate with you more. I can't wait to assist you more. I can't wait for what you have like for 2023 because it's going to be
I'm excited about
amazing.
everything you have going on. And you and I have one of the things as a similar business. And I really appreciate you bringing me on, even though we do. But we also discovered that what you do with your virtual assistants and what I do with mine is slightly different. And even if it were the same, it's still okay for us to be in the same space and communicate. People really have to begin to understand that. And another thing that's super important about people who have the same stuff and coexist in a space, understanding with you are going to call you. with me are going to call me. And it's just how it works. And when everyone
Yep.
begins to understand that we all can coexist and that what's for us is for us, we can fully coexist doing all of the same things. And it's really good when we're all like doing the same things and communicating. Like, it's just amazing. So,
Listen, I could look. I exactly like just like what you just said. We both, and that's why, at least for me, I'm not a very, oh, we're kind of in a similar lane. I don't want to. No, you can always come and talk to my people because just like what you just said, and even if we didn't, you're right. There's going to be certain, to me, even if you do the same thing, there's going to be differences. And you're right. Ours is completely, in my opinion, we both offer
this,
virtual assistants, but I feel like ours is different. Me, like I said, yours sounds like I said, you have different areas that you serve. For me, mine are mostly just like admin work. If they need something like PR, like mine are very, very specific. And I want to keep it in that space. In fact, I'm not even gonna lie to you. While you were telling me, I promise you, hand to God, while you were just telling me about your virtual assistants, I was thinking in my head, I'm like, I have a client that I feel like if I could transition and maybe send my client over there because they're great, but I feel like I want to focus more on those people that are like content creators, those people that are like, need as far as someone just like to outreach for like events and to be able, like, I just
mm-hmm.
want to kind of take mine in a different direction. And so I was already thinking about clients that I could connect with you because I'm just like, listen, but that's
Yeah.
why I never look at people in my business experience as competition. Like, yeah, there's going to be something, like I said, if we're similar, there's there's a level of the competition, but I don't ever have an issue with collaborating. In fact, if we do something too
Yeah,
similar, we could
absolutely.
probably
That's another
collaborate
thing
even
too. Like
more.
all the
So,
people in the same space can be super powerful together. And back to what I said, when people resonate with a person or a thing that they do or whatever the case is, they're going to go where they want to go. And that's just it. Like we got to accept that, you know? And I think we all have to do our
right.
own job of showing up in the best way that we possibly can, because the way you show up and the way you connect is what you're doing. You should be doing what you're doing and the people get attracted. And then guess what else
Mm-hmm.
happens? When I have a client that's not like, maybe I get so busy. Client, I'm like, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Just call me in. Versus what you just said. It happens the
Yep.
same way. And we should all be looking
People don't
forward to
think
being
like
so
that.
busy
People don't
that we
think
got
like
too
that.
many people that we got to send them to our friends.
Yep. Like, I'm just happy to be able, if I can be in a space to do that, that makes me happy. Where I'm like, look, I was able, because the thing is that what people don't see is that there's companies that do this that you don't even know that do this. You think there's multiple companies that I've seen that I think that they're all competitors and they're all in one
Hey,
group. And you're just like, I had no idea because they don't promote it, but you think, and not you, but I'm saying, like, I feel like a lot of people, and I hope people start to understand what I'm telling you is that you
no,
cannot do this alone. You cannot do this alone. You cannot do this alone. It does not have to be just you. Like I said, if there's somebody who does something similar to me, even better. Because, in fact, last story, I went to an HR event and I was talking to a guy, and I came because I have two parts of my business. One is the virtual assistants, and one is the corporate side where we do corporate recruiting. And that's actually how I transitioned into VAs because I realized small business owners couldn't afford annualized over $100,000 a year, and they didn't have a big, they don't have payroll to hire people. They don't have $10,000 as a one-off to hire someone. So I transitioned into having some virtual assistants based off of some of the needs I saw so that they could have something that's more budget friendly.
for
But
you.
that
It was
came
a
from that
pivot that
space of,
made sense.
again,
Same thing
that,
for me. Yeah.
yep. And so I still have that corporate side. I don't promote it as much. So I still get corporate clients, but not I push the VAs because my focus is small businesses. That's my heart. But I'm gonna be honest, corporate is what pays the bills. So it's true. I don't make a lot off of the VAs, and I don't do it for that because if I did,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be in business if it was just for the VAs because I don't get paid that much. But I remember I went to an HR event and I was talking to a guy who did recruiting, and I went up to him and I'm like, hey, how are you? And no lie, he was like, why are you talking to me? And I'm like, why wouldn't I be talking to you? And he's like, don't you do recruiting? And I said, yeah. And he's like, I do recruiting. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, one, we both recruit, but I promise you we don't do the same thing. I'm like, you recruit for your focus is veterans. My focus isn't veterans. What if I get some clients and they want to focus on veterans? I'm not going to then, I'm going to reach out to
See my
you
face?
so that we can collaborate. I'm like,
You know what my
we
face
do this.
says? Game over.
Like,
Okay? Let's end this conversation with this game over. Because no.
no, let me tell you, I couldn't. I'm so stubborn, girl. Hold on. I'm so stubborn. I couldn't end it. I was like, you are going to see things the way that I do before. I know it's a toxic habit of mine. But I said to him, I explained that to him. I'm like, we do something different even though we're in the same space. And he was like, yeah. And I said, since we're at an event, I'm like, do you speak at events? And he's like, yeah, I do. And I said, oh, that's funny. I host events. So you would come and speak at an event if I invited you. He's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, so we can work together on different things, huh? And he started laughing. And then he gave me his number. He was like, but what I'm saying is that you're so, not you, but people are so shut off from things that I'm like, I just need you to see that not everybody's your competition. Like I just explained to you 3 different ways that we could work together and collaborate. And then he's like, oh my, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I know. I had to do it because I'm like, even if we don't work together, I need you to stop that type of thinking. Stop thinking like, oh, why would you be talking to me? Where, oh my God, you're going to take some of my clients. It's just like, even if you think that, do you know how many other people do what you do?
Game over. Game
Now
over.
what?
It's just like, let's move on. You know what? Because like, honestly, at this point, I mean, I do have some of those conversations with people, but at this point in my life, I got things to do, places to be, other lives to impact. And I don't know, like, I can't, like, I mean, you had time. You
I had
obviously
time
did.
that day.
You had
So
extra time to do that
I had time
because,
that day.
yeah, maybe you ain't had nothing, girl.
Well, we were at the event all day. It was an out of town event. So whether I was talking to him or not, I was going to be there all day. And it was a slow event. We didn't have a lot of like, it was rough. So I had some time. But I get what you're saying because sometimes you're right. If you come with a certain type of energy, it's just like, you know what?
Um,
Have a blessed day. Like, have a blessed day.
there's a
This was
point in
nice.
time when I wanted to save the whole world, right? And look, ain't changing nobody's mind. So yeah, yeah, I'm sure you did, and
Sometimes I change his
I
though.
do things like
So,
that
like I said, I
occasionally
wouldn't
too.
do
So
it all
I'm
the
like you, so
time.
it's true.
Right.
But I'm at the point now where who I am and what I do and what I have to offer and how I can connect and all of that. And I bring the energy to let you see who I am without sometimes me even saying a word. And I'm at the point where we got to connect. Like you got to see and you got to make sense out of this. And if you don't connect, then we just don't. And I was just thinking about this thing where I understand there are some people who say I don't have the money, right? And it's true, right? It really is true in some cases. But now the question is, did you figure out where else you could get the money? Because where you are, you can't stay. So you're stuck. But you're like, I don't know what to do. And then you still
Right.
stuck. So at this point, I just I don't really want to convince anybody. Like, I need you to go figure out you see that I have to offer is what you need. And I need you to just click the button because I got buttons everywhere. So I'm going to show up and show you what I have. And you have to make the decision. Are you going to make the sacrifice to get what I have to offer? Because I'm just not in the convincing business anymore. Like you gotta decide. It's all a decision. As soon as you decide that this person in front of me that has crossed my path has something that I need you to make a choice. Because if you don't make the choice, you're gonna still stay where you are. Or you do need to make a choice with someone else. But don't stay where you are. And I'm just done with convincing. Like you gotta figure this out. Now I will help you to understand that maybe some of the things there are ways that you can pay for it. Like I have funding available for some of the higher ticket things.
Nice.
Tell me where you are, opposed to just making all of these excuses so that we can have that conversation where I can tell you how I can assist you. But stop pretending like, I don't know what to say. I'm just over it. I'm over it. Like, I'm here. I'm here.
I get. Listen, where you're the space you're coming from, I get it because that's how I feel. That's how I feel about like with people who because most of the time, honestly, my business comes from you. They heard me speak someplace. That's why like yes, I'm a speaker and I charge for it, but it depends on the opportunity, because if I can see that it's going to be an amazing opportunity, I'm like, let's talk about like me coming there, because I'm going to be able to work something out for you. Like, I do some of the local organizations out here, like nonprofits, and I just do that for the love of the game. I'm not charging anybody anything for anything. I'm just trying to provide something to you. But what I'm saying is, I understand what you're saying, because if you contact me, because most of the people are contacting me, if you contact me and I'm explaining to you a service, but you're acting like you're not sure, I'm not pushing you on that. Like, I'm giving you facts. I'm telling you what I can do, how I can help you, and I'm letting you decide. I might do a follow up to say, hey, just following up this, let you know some of that. I'm not gonna chase you down. If you don't see, or it's one thing if I talk to you about what I do and you're like, oh, I don't need that. And I try to, and I've done that too. I've poked holes. And again, I think that's the argumentative type of like in me, where I've poked holes where people have told me they didn't need help in their business. And I started asking follow-up questions, and I'm like, oh, I'm like, so what does this person do? How many people do this? And I had someone say back to me, he's like, I get what point you're trying to make. He's like, we have people that are wearing too many hats. I was like, yeah, they are, but I'm still not pushing. At the end of the day, I said, all right, talk to you later. If you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it, and I'm not here to force you to do it. I'm here to you to tell me about something you're interested in, and for me to tell you how I can help you, and for you to like, I haven't forced any of my VA selves. If you want to do it, I want to help you. If you don't see the value in it, I mean, I need to reevaluate,
Right.
what I'm doing to
Yeah.
make sure that I'm providing that value. But if it's not for you, it's not for you.
Yes.
So I digress. Point is, thank you so much for this today. Like I said, excited about everything that's coming forward. Enjoy your event today. And I now, since I just found out something on this as well, I got to follow up with you a little bit as well. So I'll be messaging you later to have a quick call with you going
Do you want to
forward.
collaborate
Thank
this live
you
with me?
for sharing your Saturday. So
Like,
I thought we
so
did.
at the end, so it'll be on both of our pages.
I thought right. So when I set this up, I hit collaborate for you. You didn't get that? Oh, wait, this part. Oh, I get it.
Wait,
I get it
I'm
now.
like, man, it's something new with Instagram. Like, you know, I'm teaching Instagram. I'm like, did I miss something?
I get it now.
It's all right here. Yes, I accepted your other collaboration as well
I had
earlier.
a real rough week.
It's all right.
I had a really rough week. Like, I had a rough week. I'm proud of me for making it to Saturday. I understand. I will send that to you. Yes. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you again for having me,
so
and
much.
you keep up the great work. All right. See you soon.
Absolutely.
Bye.
You as well. Bye.